Good day, students. How are you all? Hope you all are doing good. So we finished chapter number 11 of your textbook, the environment. The notes and the worksheets are uploaded in a school website. Copy the notes. Try to attempt worksheet. If you can't attempt any question, read the textbook. Make use of your this time at home in a very productive and very positive manner. Use the textbook. Okay, try to answer. Now we are going to start chapter 12, the solution. I'm sure that you have learned solution also in grade 5. Let's start revising the key terms that you have learned in grade 5 science. The key terms related to the topic solutions are solute, types of solute, solvent, solution, and type of solution. If you think little harder, I'm sure you are going to recall all these terms from grade 5 science. Yes, so before starting the revision of key terms solute, solvent, and solutions, can you think of an example of a solution which is widely available on our planet Earth? Yes, I'm sure you can do it. The example is seawater, right? Seawater is saltish. So many salts are there in the water which are dissolved. So what is solution? Solution is basically mixture of two substances. What those two substances are called? Can you recall? Yes, solute and solvent. Then there are different methods of separating these two substances, which we are going to learn in great detail. These two substances, which are basically mixed together, are called solute and solvent. Here I am showing you three different types of substances. Can you identify which one is solute and which one is solvent? Yes, water is solvent, and these two material over here, sugar and sand, are solutes. Solutes are further divided into two categories: the one which get dissolved in other substance, and the one which do not dissolve or disappear in the substance, but they are like when you mix them together with the solvent, they can be easily found. They will be suspended in the mixture, right? So the substance which get dissolved are called soluble, and the substance which do not get dissolved are called insoluble solute. Then when we mix these two substances, solute and solvent, they form a solution. For example, if you want to make sweet water, what you have to do? You have to mix sugar in water. So sugar plus water will form a solution. Sugar is solute, water is solvent, and together they form sweet water, which is solution. Yes, so when we dissolve a solute in the solution, will there be any effect on its volume? Will the volume increases? No, right? But have you ever thought why? Yes, it is because that we learned in the chapter particles. There was a theory we discussed in great detail, right? Particles theory of substance. And there we learned that between the particles of any substance, there is a space. Whether it be a liquid, gas, or even solid, there is some space. So when we dissolve a solute in a solvent, these particles of solute basically fit into those free spaces and hide. So if let's say we have a spoon of sugar and we dissolve it in the water, these crystal will break into its molecule, and these molecules will get fit into the space, and then they will be invisible. Okay, let's move on. Then there are two types of solutions: saturated and unsaturated. When you dissolve 2 spoons of sugar, let's say in the water, it is unsaturated solution. Means there is still available some space for more molecules or for more particles of the solute to get dissolved in the water. Then when we keep, if we keep this is the space, So when we keep dissolving more and more solute, what happen? There comes a point when there is no space left for further amount of solute to get dissolved. That state when no more solute molecules can dissolve in the water or any solvent is called saturated solution. So that's all from the previous classes revision. These all terminologies, solute, solvent and all. I'm sure that you have learned in grade 5. Now we are going to discuss methods of separation, which will be the main topic under discussion for this chapter. There are three main categories: separating solids from the liquids, liquid from solution, and separating solids from a mixture. The first one which we are going to discuss in this video will be separating solids from the liquid. Then again in this there are two further categories: solids which are soluble and the solids which are insoluble. So there will be different methods to separate such solids. Let's start. There can be many different types of separation methods. The first one we are going to discuss is with insoluble solute. For example, sand or chalk particles. So as you can see over here, there are sand particles which are dissolved in water, which are actually not dissolved in water, they are insoluble. The other method is filtration. Let's discuss this first method. The name of the method is sedimentation and decantation. Let's say you have some insoluble particle, let's say sand, and you dissolve it in water. The particles will be suspended, but if you keep it for 15 minutes, these particles will settle down in the bottom of the beaker or glass. These particles now at the bottom of the beaker. So you may pour this water into another utensil, another glass or beaker, leaving behind the sediments, right? So when you pour it, this method of pouring the clean water or clean solvent from the sediments, leaving behind the sediments, is called decantation. As you can see over here, the particles are still in the first beaker. So after decantation process, you may remove some of the water from the solution, right? But still some of the solution is available over here. The next method is filtration. In the method of filtration, we use filter paper. Filter paper is just like a strain. You might have seen strains in your kitchen, where sometimes when we wash vegetables or rice, we pour it in a strain so that water will run out of it and the things which we are washing will remain in the strain. So this filter paper acts like a strain. It has got very small pores in it, very small holes in it, through which these insoluble particles can pass through. The advantage of this method is that all the water can be, or all the solvent we can have after the process. Not any of the water will be lost. So in this process, what we have to do, we have to take a filter paper which is usually circular in shape, like this. Then we have to fold it in 1/2 and then again in 1/4. When we will open it, it will be like a cone. So this cone we can this filter paper cone, we can place it in this conical flask. Remember, in the first practical I told you, in first practical there are different apparatus, and there we discussed this apparatus is called funnel, right? So this cone shaped filter paper, we may place it in a funnel, and then when we pour the water and sand solution in it, what will happen? The sand will remain in this filter paper, and all the water we can receive in a beaker or in a glass. So all the particles of sand will be there in the filter paper. These particles are called residue, which are trapped in the filter paper, and this clean water is called filtrate. The second method we are going to learn is separating soluble solids from liquid. Soluble solids can be salt or sugar. Let's say we dissolve some salt in the water and the mixture we prepared is a solution, but that was accidentally we did it, and now we want to get back the solute from the solution. In such circumstances, we use evaporation. Evaporation, you may recall it from previous learning that evaporation is the process of converting a liquid into its vapor by heating. So we will pour that solution in an evaporation dish and we put the burner on. So what will happen? The liquid will start vaporizing, leaving behind the solids. These solids will be in the form of crystals. Common salt is actually prepared from seawater by this method. Like common salt is the salt we use at home in kitchen. The method of getting a soluble salt from a solution I showed you as evaporation is very inaccurate one. The more proper accurate method to get a very regular flat face or sharp edges one crystal is crystallization, which I'm going to show you with the help of this video. I've taken it from a YouTube channel, so I will give the credits of this video. For this experiment or for this practical, we need thread, we need solution, a saturated solution, and some salt. Here we have used copper sulfate because the same salt is used in your textbook also. So for this we need to put the burner on and place this saturated solution on this burner. Why? Because we learned that when we heat up a substance, its particles will be away from each other or expanded. So when they are expanded, we will be able to dissolve more salt in it, and the saturated solution under high temperature will become super saturated. Means there are enough more than enough particles of the solutes are available in the solution. Then we will take a thread, tie it on the pencil and put it in the glass. After heating that super saturated solution for a while, when all the salt is dissolved, we are going to pour it in another dish, and we have to keep this dish in a warmer place for some days so that the water will be evaporated from this. And after some days, if we check it, we will find that surrounding the thread there will be crystals, more proper crystals. So what happened here? Let's take a recap. That the solubility of this solution was increased because of the temperature. The solution expands and more molecules of salt will be accommodated in the solution, and it will be a super saturated solution. Then we place it in a warmer place for a while. Then after when we place it in the warmer place, what happened? This water will evaporate and or precipitated at the room temperature, and the crystals will be formed surrounding this thread. This is a very simple experiment. You can do it with sugar also. I am giving a link in the description box for such experiment. If you want to try it at home, you can do it, but be careful. Take guidance from your elder siblings or your parents. Take permission first and then perform that practical. These days in parties, people are making sugar pops from such method, and I hope you will enjoy it if you will do it, but only do it under the guidelines of any elder. Thank you. Notes will be uploaded in the school website, and we will discuss the further methods of separation in next videos. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.